I think I should use the countdown more often. I think I should use it more often. It keeps me together. What can I tell you? Oh, okay. So for those of you who are here or watching in the replay, this is the live version of Not Dinner Conversations, where we have the conversations that need to be held. But you know what? It's December. The year's about to end. And Aicila and I said, we need to end this with a little holiday cheer, right? A little holiday
Yep.
cheer. Now, it's not snowing here in Texas. As a matter of fact, let's see, it was a high of 74 yesterday. I just about died. I turned the AC on.
Wow. Yeah, I'm on the other spectrum. Like, it has been cold, and I wouldn't say it's been super cold for Denver, but I have to walk the dog, so I find
Oh,
it to be very cold. So I go outside,
oh,
I'm like all bundled up in like 87 layers, and she's
yeah,
like, "I have a fur
I can
coat. I don't
imagine.
care."
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean,
Not my favorite.
it was wet and windy. It's windy today. It was like 48 this morning, but with like that wind chill, it kind of felt slightly cooler than that. So I was telling Aisa earlier, I got a slight little tickle from yesterday, like that drainage. Bad idea, Gwendolyn. Bad idea. But guess what? Today we're talking about some holiday stuff. We want to do some holiday cheer. We're going
Yep.
to travel down memory lane, as we like to call it, and talk about the holidays. Because I myself, like, I don't know about you, Aisla, but I say happy holidays because I don't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
And I know some people are like, but it's Christmas. I look, everybody don't celebrate it. So happy holidays to you and yours,
Mhm.
okay? Let's keep it rolling, shall we? So we're going to do this. Let us get into today's topic. Before we do that, we gotta welcome in our guest. So shout out to my mother who is here. We've
Hi.
got Ron Foster in the building. Oh
Love
goodness. Okay.
Ron.
Hey. Oh, and he says here he just returned from North Carolina. All right. Well, it's a good thing you had a safe trip. So that's good to know. Hello to you, sir. We have Jessica in the building. Hello. And everybody is sending their hellos. Ron and Jess and Mother all send their hellos. I can't believe the year is almost over.
Yeah, it feels, and I hear this is the thing that happens with age where time feels like it goes faster. So I'm like, I mean, that's fair. And it's interesting because the way the holiday falls, I'm going to end up taking off more time than I usually do. And I'm also going to see my family. Everyone's going to be together in one place, which is very rare.
Mm.
And I am so excited. I kept forgetting that this week existed because I leave on Saturday. So I tell people last week, I kept telling people, I'm not going to be here next week. And they're like, you're leaving that early? And I'm like, no. So I guess even though it was fast, apparently not
Yeah.
fast enough for me.
Yeah, I gotta think that when Thanksgiving falls on that last week of November, it just feels like everything kind of comes crushing together.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because if it kind of hits like on that second to last week of November, you feel like, oh, that's another week. But when it's the very last week, you're like, oh, wait, that's it. And it's like
Yep.
done. The year
Yep.
is
Well, and the
done.
holiday being in the middle of the week in the next, like,
Right.
it makes it
Yes.
kind of, a lot of people are just gone that the Monday or the
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday. And so
Mhm.
I usually take that as a chance to sort of take some brain rest, or like I said, I'm gonna see my whole family in one place. So I'm actually legitimately just not gonna work for 4 days, which is a rare occasion
I
for me.
highly suggest resting your brain. It's
Yeah.
a good thing. So today, as we mentioned, we are not going to do our normal get all into. We want to do some holiday stuff. We've got some questions for you. We could talk about real trees versus fake trees versus no trees. We might talk about some wallpaper, but I want to get into our very first topic, which I think is great, and it is top 5 holiday movies. That's where we're going. So I'm going to go to you first, ma'am, because holiday movies, I'm a creature of habit. My husband is highly upset with me at this moment. He's not upset, but he clearly is like, if we have to watch this one more time. And my mother will tell you that, yes, I was just in her home watching the same movie I watched 3 days in a row here in my own home. So I am a creature of habit. But what are your top 5 holiday movies? And audience, whether you're watching now or in the replay, we would love to know your top 5 holiday movies as well. What do you have, ma'am?
So I did make a list. I'm going to read it. So starting from, so there's 2 honorable mentions, Krampus and A Christmas Story.
Oh.
And then number 5 is Happiest Season.
Oh.
Number 4 is The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is a very holiday movie because you could start watching it in October, right? And it covers both. 3 is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, classic from when I was a kid. I love his, the whole Misfit Toys thing.
Yes, the Misfit Toys.
Right. And then number 2 is a new one. I just discovered it this year, and I'm fully in love with it. Hot Frosty. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. It was described on Rotten Tomatoes, and what put me over the edge to watch it and then to attempt to recruit many people to also watch it is Hot Frosty just came out this year, and it is as if somebody, according to this Rotten Tomatoes review, let me be clear, took a porno and took all the sex out and fleshed out all the really ridiculous plot themes. And it does seem pretty thin, and it's hilarious. And there's just these moments, everybody just accepts that this guy's made out of snow. Like the doctor's like, I believe in science. He's made out of snow. They're like, this is like B-grade camp, well done, which I personally love. Okay. So I got to put it in there. If you're looking for something silly and fun to watch, Hot Frosty will definitely make you giggle, but it's not like heartfelt or maybe it's trying to be. I don't think it is. And then number 1 that I watch every year at least once, Muppet Christmas Carol.
Really? That's your top, huh?
It is.
Oh, okay. All right. Now I'm checking out this comment from Jessica. She says, I love rewatching movies. I have to see The Grinch with Jim Carrey every single year. And now I will say, I've got mine. I've got some honorable mentions on there as well. One of them is, and they're really close. One is This Christmas, which my mother and I tend to watch. I also like Almost Christmas, which I have watched so far in December alone about 12 times, and it was available to watch on the ship.
Oh,
my husband says, we just watched this movie yesterday at your mother's house. It's like, I get it, and we're gonna watch it again. So, and it's really cute. It's just, this father and mother lived in this house for like forever, raised their kids, had an accidental baby around 50. She dies, and now this is the first Christmas that they are together as a family. And can they get through 5 days without tearing each other apart? So I love watching it all the time. But here's so number 5. I like the Nutcracker with what's his face from Home Alone? Macaulay.
Oh, okay. Macaulay Culkin.
I like the Nutcracker. I love watching Scrooged with
good one. Yeah.
Love that one. And then here are because I took a little time. Here are my other ones. Die Hard is on there. Trading Places is number 2. And number 1 is National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. I can watch all 3 of these like every single time. This is how I do my Christmas Eve. As a matter of fact, we line them up.
Nice.
Now, Bruce has said before he can no longer speak that Die Hard is not a holiday movie. Bruce is wrong. Love him dearly, he's wrong. Okay.
What do actors know?
What is he know?
They're just in the show. They're not planning it.
I mean, he is there because of the Christmas party. He's there because of Christmas. It happens at Christmas. So yeah,
Yeah.
Christmas movie, hello, like duh, as is Trading Places. It's also taking place at Christmas.
There
So
you go.
like they are the best holiday movies. Like that's how we do it. Ron says, hey, he's got the Christmas Story and the March of the Wooden Soldiers. Oh, okay, all right. Those are some good ones. The good thing is, like, you can, depending on what you do, you can watch these 1,000 times over. Now, I will say, I have watched today. I watched The Last Holiday with Queen Latifah,
Okay.
where she thinks she's dying and she has 3 weeks to live, and so she goes and blows all her money and starts really living her life. Okay, so I love watching that one too. It's a good one. But there's like a whole host of holiday movies that you could get into. Before I left to go on my vacation, my mother got caught up in the Hallmark holiday,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
ring, where
Mm-hmm.
there is the person who lives in the city who has to come to the country to save or sell some property that her grandmother or somebody left her, and she falls in love with the country guy. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I don't, these are not my holiday movies. Okay.
Well, what I love most about the Hallmark movies, and so Hot Frosty is a little bit Hallmarky, but also campy. That's why I like it. But most about the Hallmark movies are the like skits that people do making fun of them,
Right.
because they're just like, "Hi, I'm gonna quit my job and move to the orchard where I hated
Right.
my family." So, and it's like, oh yeah, when you actually write it all out, it's ridiculous. Which doesn't change the fact that if you like it, you like it. It's fun. There's lots of
Yes.
things I love that are ridiculous,
Yes.
but I absolutely love those skits. They crack me up so much.
They have a recipe, and that recipe is working.
Yeah.
Like they have a host of movies that are like just it is the same plot, but people watch it from sun up to sundown. Happy
Mhm.
trails to you. It's not where Gwendolyn thrives. I don't need there's like a whole bunch of like holiday romance movies. I don't need that, man. I don't.
That Happiest Season is that,
Yeah.
but it's a lesbian couple, and it's got a little bit of the twist in it, like not it's I won't say anymore, but it was a sweet. It came out in 2020 and it was really sweet. I was like, oh, this is kind of fun and sweet. So I sort of started watching it. And then Krampus is obviously like very violent, but also oddly fun. I'm not a horror person, and it's a little bit horror, but Christmas and horror feels like a little goes together. I don't know.
Some new ones. Now I haven't watched it. It's on my list to watch sometime this weekend. But the red one that just came out on Amazon, where
Hmm.
they had kidnapped Santa Claus,
Hmm.
and they are kidnapping this top tier bounty hunter to work with Santa Claus's security team. So when I watched the trailer, I thought, okay, Gwendolyn, you might give this a try. I'm gonna
Hmm.
go ahead and give it a try. But it looked, you need something different, right? Like you need something different with the whole how do you save Christmas? Well, Santa got kidnapped. Let me go, let me do that. So, what can I tell you?
I
We'll be
mean,
watching it. We'll be watching it.
that's what matters, right? Like I saw Spirited a couple years ago. That was kind of fun.
Oh.
It's a retelling of the Scrooge story. I studied comparative literature, and I love the way that we have certain stories that we retell, and they kind of tell you about where, like the King Arthur story,
Mhm.
which was the Gwendolyn or Isolde, and like this. And if you like you retell certain stories, you can see kind of the way your culture's at. So I always find that kind of fascinating. Not to get too heavy, guys, because this is lighthearted, but
Well, there was the one, I can't think of the name now, but there was one that Disney did with Ludacris last year. And I thought the world is clearly changing when Luda is now doing holiday family movies where he had to believe in Christmas again, believe in Christmas and Santa again. It was really funny. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was really
yeah.
funny. My husband even enjoyed it. And I can't think of the name now, but there are a lot of new age holiday movies that I believe deserve some watching. Hey, we got more guests in the
Ooh.
all right. Jess wants to see the red. I mean, when I watched the trailer, now I don't know about trailers and who decides what to play. The trailer I love that. The trailer I saw on TV beforehand didn't seem very exciting. However, the trailer I watched on Amazon gave a really deep detail of what the movie is. And I thought, oh, I do want to watch this movie. So Trailers make the difference, in my opinion. We've got GNC Sports Talk here. Good afternoon. Dr. Tashi is in the building as well. Hello. Gary's in the building. Hello to you. You guys are just in time because we have our next question, which is my favorite category. Your top holiday drinks. Now, Aicila, I will show you one of my favorite holiday gifts. The fact that one of my siblings, I think it was my sister, brought me the moose. I told you, National Lampoon is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Bought me the moose so that I can have my eggnog. Now, I'm not drinking regular eggnog today.
No.
I am drinking Yule Nog. Okay, Yule Nog by Fireball.
That's delicious. That's why I had eggnog on my calendar, and I think it was for this. And I was like, why did I put eggnog on my calendar last month for Wednesday? I don't understand.
Man.
Apparently.
Yeah. I love a good eggnog. I love a good eggnog. But tell me this. Okay, so what are your favorite holiday drinks to serve either for yourself or for your friends? What do you always go to?
Well, so for years we did Christmas morning mimosas, which I thought was pretty much one of my favorites. And then I make wassail every year around Christmas. So I don't know if like when you listen to like there's that song like Old King Wenceslas blah 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 a wassailing we go a wassailing. I was in a class when I was in college, and the teacher he made wassail. It was a Shakespeare class, and he was like 95 years old or something. And I was just like, this is amazing. I want the recipe. So I got this recipe from him. And then every holiday season since, you put, cloves and orange juice and ginger and a little bit of lemon and some apple cider. And you can put sugar in it. I don't always. And then I say cloves, nutmegs, allspice, and you boil it for a couple of hours, and it's really good. And you can put things in it like rum or whiskey, or you can drink it without that. And it makes your whole house smell just like the holidays. It's delicious.
Yeah.
So I love that. That's one of my favorite traditions. But I'll be honest, my absolute favorite go-to Christmas drink is any form of eggnog. I love homemade eggnog. I don't know if you've ever had that. It's really light and fluffy. I love the store-bought eggnog that's probably full of 87 dyes. I don't care. If you want to thin it out with milk or whiskey or whatever, I'm fine with that. If you want to drink, I just love eggnog. Love it.
I could do it. I mean, if okay, you could make it all year round. You could. I have never made my own eggnog. I don't have that. I don't have that kind of patience sometimes. I do like taking the store-bought eggnog and do a little zhuzhing with it. So I do it two ways. So during Thanksgiving last year, I served the store-bought eggnog with a salty caramel moonshine. Will change your life. I mean, will literally change your life. Okay?
I can see that.
So that's one. Two, I will do the store-bought eggnog with rumchata. Will also, again, change your life.
I've done that. It's delicious.
It's delicious. Okay? Delicious. This year, since I was out and about, I thought, well, let me just see about one of the store-bought, already prepared, liquored up eggnogs. And so they were doing a tasting of the Yule Nog by Fireball. And I thought, let me give it a try. And I thought, oh, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
This is really good.
I used to get the Jameson one once a year, like the end of the holidays, and I loved that. I also love eggnog in hot chocolate or in your morning coffee instead of cream. Yeah, like if you're having coffee and you have a little dollop of eggnog in it instead of cream, it's like, put it in your hot chocolate. You can also add it to batter. Anything that calls for milk, throw some eggnog in there.
I did have...
None of that's going to be sad to you, I promise.
No. I had there was an eggnog ice cream that Bluebell put out about a year or so ago. And I had just a little bit of my prepared liquored eggnog and made an eggnog milkshake. Oh my God, it was amazing. I mean, it was just like, ugh. So, I'm down for eggnog like you. I am good for a mimosa as well. I had this apple cider mimosa recipe. It was actually really good. I thought, this is different.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this. And after that, depending on what I'm doing, I'll have like just some regular sparkling cider hanging around too. Because
Yep.
sometimes I have things to do, so I'm probably not going to drink. So, but I still want something fizzy and cute, so I will go with that. But
Yeah, that stuff's delicious.
Reigns supreme here during the holiday.
Well, and like the drink is interesting because the drinks I tend to be a little more traditional, but I'll try new things with them. But I feel like the holidays are a great time to like celebrate nostalgia and tradition, and also try new things. Like you can get both, can be kind of fun.
Yes. Yes, I will say yes to all of that. As we're getting some comments, we got Jessica says she's a whiskey and Coke Zero kind of girl. At the holidays, she'll take eggnog with a little whiskey. See, there you go. The good thing about eggnog and having it, like Southern Comfort has an eggnog in your grocery store that has no liquor, okay? Because it's a grocery store, so they can't just put it out there like that. So you can get that really nice flavor without the alcohol. So that's a great thing about having eggnog for and without, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something about eggnog just says holiday. And me and my moose, as I'm watching National Lampoon, oh man.
That's pretty great. I think it's pretty great.
I know, right? It's like Rocky and Bullwinkle. For those who know.
Oh my gosh, memories. More nostalgia.
The memories. But yeah, this time of year, we tend to do more eggnog, and then, like I said, a little bit of mimosas. And if I'm feeling really nostalgic, I will put the cider and heat it up and just have that smell in the house. It's the smell that does it, right? Like it is the best smell. That just sort of, I've never done, what is it? Mulled wine? You ever done that?
I was going to say, the one I love is mulled wine.
Really?
You get, well, because the thing is you can get a real cheap wine, and you simmer it. Once again, a little sugar. You put the recipe I have, you take an orange and you squeeze it, and then you stick cloves in the orange, and you oh, it's so good.
Smells good in the house. I may have to do that next week. I may have to do that next week and bring a little something. Like right now I have a candle burning. So I said before, I don't do decorating. I don't do that, but I love having the music and I love having the smell of a holiday in the home without all the fuss and fuss. And shout out to Jazzy. Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for joining us. Good evening. Oh, I love a good drink, but guess what else? As I was mentioning, we want to talk about some songs. Here's the fun facts, Aicila. Gwendolyn keeps holiday music in the car all year round to keep my wrinkles at bay.
To keep your wrinkles at bay.
Because when people are driving, the piss poor driving. I swear to God Almighty, I just think that we're just handing out licenses like lottery tickets, right? You get a license, you get a license. But holiday music is really hard to be upset when you've got holiday music playing in the car. So it plays in my car all year round.
That's awesome.
I know.
I don't play a lot. You asked that question. I was like, well, there are songs I remember from when I was a kid, but I don't have but I did make a list. So I like to do the homework people give me.
So I'm doing the homework.
But I have a lot of nostalgia songs. Like my mom, she had a very specific ritual where we would decorate and we'd put on the records, right? You have to put the records. So Joan Baez and the Little Drummer Boy was always going to play. And then, so that was one from when I was younger. And then obviously, because I love the Muppet Christmas Carol, I have a song from there that I was like, what do I like? I'm like, One Sleep Till Christmas. I always thought that was kind of a sweet little song. It's not traditional holiday anyway. And I will say, like, a lot of hymns, because I grew up in a very religious background. And I still, interestingly, I don't play holiday music, but I almost always have a hymn in the back of my, like, if I'm walking around, cleaning my house, whatever, and I'm, it'll just start coming out. I'm like, oh, that's fun. And I used to do, my kid's dad and I would go sing in the tunnels with other people. So every Sunday night we go out and sing a cappella. And so we had that. And obviously around the holidays, we did a lot of the, hymns, but some of them, he was very musical, and so there were some songs like Ring Out Wild Bells that has all these minor keys in it, and it's got I think it's a poem by like Yeats or something like that was put to music. So, and he would have us do all these harmonies and things. So there were a lot of sweet sort of memories around singing. And I used to sing at my dad's at Christmas Eve, and I go visit him. And so I have a lot of one of the songs that I love, and Mannheim Steamroller did it a few years ago, is Benny, Benny, Emmanuel. It was a Latin chant that became a Christmas hymn called O Come Ye Emmanuel, or something like that. But the Latin part is so simple and beautiful, and it has a very lovely tonality to it. So I don't know, and I like minor keys. So like What Child Is This? And all of those songs that make you go into the minor keys. So it's been my favorite thing. I'm not really a soprano, I'm more of an alto. So the minor keys kind of save me from those high notes, I guess.
Oh my gosh. She said, okay, let me just be honest about some of these things.
I mean, right? And then I don't know, something about him. I was like, I was a very amateur guitar player, and that same thing. I was always like, all right, because once you learn what things go together, I'm like, this is minors, these are D7s. All right, I'm good.
Speaking of learning music, I remember in class in elementary and junior high school having to learn how to read sheet music. We should probably bring that back. And my guitar is over there. I wanted to play the guitar, okay? Not because I thought I should play the guitar. It's because Prince was putting together his all women's band, and I thought I'm gonna try to get here with all the big wigs. And then when he died, I thought, well, there goes that. So let me just put this aside. I should probably still play the few things I know how to play. But what can I tell you?
But when we've talked about the community stuff, there's nothing more. That's the wrong way to say it, but there's something so connective and joyful about singing with people and making music. And I used to do that with my kids. Like I said, as amateur, but I would when it was time for bed, I just start playing chords, and I'd be like, you need to brush your teeth. It's time to go to bed. I wasn't really singing, but it's fun. So I encourage you to do that. It's so much connection and joy.
I'm good to break out in song all the time. If I'm not humming, then I'm breaking out in song, because you can make everything into a song. It's like, let me just make this song real quick. But speaking of memories, as you were talking about it, like a couple of things that I feel help remind us of moments that we enjoy is, if it's not sound, then it's smell.
Yeah.
And in terms of sound, songs, right? So I knew it was the holidays when my dad would put on The Temptations, Silent Night, because it was like, and it's the holidays. It has a rise in the Houston household. We know. And he had the Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
Christmas. Is it the Christmas album? Is that what it's called, people? My mother still has his LP. Remember, was it 2022? And my father passed away. I think it was like that very next year or late in that year. It was the next year, 23, that she bought a record player / CD / all the things together. She was playing his old LPs, and that was one of them. And we just sat in the living room listening to this old album, and I thought, oh, the memories are coming back. So I have a couple on mine.
No, yeah, you have. You should have.
And they're not in any real order. So let me say it like that.
Ready for it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put the whole Nat King Cole album on there. Yes, for Christmas, like the whole album, we would put it on, just play it. Just let it ride. Play the whole thing. Of course, I have All I Want for Christmas by Mariah, as Jessica knows. Yes, say what you want about Mariah. She is the queen of Christmas. Okay.
Yeah.
That's hers. I have Another Lonely Christmas by Prince.
Ooh.
Which originally, when I heard it, I was like, okay, this is great. And then when you listen to the lyrics, you're like, wait a minute, she died on Christmas Day? I'm sorry, what? Um, but yeah, so what can I tell you? Sometimes, sometimes there are those Christmas songs. Like there's a Christmas song. I think it's called "What Do the Lonely Do for Christmas?" Or at Christmas, right? It's like, for those who don't have anybody, like, where do they go? What do they do? You've lost your love. So there's always a room for for sad Christmas songs. And then my number one is Donny Hathaway, This Christmas. That for me that's holiday time. It's like, like I said, it stays in the car.
Yeah.
The car all the time. And then I have like the Jackson 5 in there. There are some others that play Lou Rawls. I'll do All Lang Syne and a heartbeat. And I really think I can carry the note. I mean, it sounds good in my car.
It's a studio. It's a studio effect. It's okay.
It's a studio, right? I think, so I'm always like an Old Lang Syne. Yeah, I'm like bringing it. So, there's a couple, but what can I tell you? Like holiday songs, if I'm cooking, and we typically, like in our household, we would eat, drink, and dance in the kitchen. So I'm going to have some nibbles, I'm going to have a cocktail, and I'm going to have some music playing. And that sets the mood for me getting my dishes done as I'm preparing like holiday dinner. That's what Gwendolyn knows. That's what I know. Jazzy says the lonely stay in the house and chill. Is that what they do? Is it even Christmas if you don't play Donny Hathaway? I don't know. Now people are redoing a lot of these songs now.
Yeah.
Because I shouldn't say there are a number of holiday songs, but this newer generation of singers like to come in and put their spin on it. I don't know if I'm sold on all of them, but you know who I do like? God bless it. What's her face from the Son of a Goodness? Golly, why can I not think of her name now? She has the talk show. She was on one of the music shows. Why can I not think of her name? You know what I'm talking about? With the hair and cannot think of her name. Awful.
Was she on The Voice? You're the one with the one that was on The Voice?
I don't know. Was it? No. Was she? No. I think she was an American Idol person. Was she an American Idol person?
There's some really great singer that's doing a show.
Okay, not Jennifer Hudson. Who's the Kelly Clarkson? Bam.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay, she did a holiday album.
Yeah.
And she did this song with Chris Stapleton. Oh,
was it good?
Oh my God! I was like, wait. I was cooking. I was making my cornbread dressing, and I was doing my deal. I was like, whoa! Who is that? Who is that? Now her voice is so distinct, like Jennifer. It is distinct. That song was beautiful.
Yeah.
Her holiday album, I'm down for Kelly. I put her in the honorable mentions. She's in the honorable mentions because I'm like, oh, but yes. Yeah, I don't, there's so many people. Like, how you think, I like everybody's like, Jennifer Hudson. I forget there are a lot of singers who are now have talk shows. My bad. I should have.
Yeah, there was a lot. That was, well, and so I don't know if you like a little snark in your holiday, but a few years ago watched the Deela and Jinx holiday special.
Oh.
And they have songs like Passive Aggressive Christmas, and it's pretty funny. So I like to put that on Thanksgiving. We put that on at Thanksgiving in the background while we're cooking. It's a fun one, but it's definitely it's not a family album. That's after the kids go to bed. It's not. It's got some snark to it. Let them grow up and discover their own snark. Don't hand it to them on a platter and make it easy for them.
So they have to figure it out for themselves.
Yeah, I'm like, we can't just make everything easy for them. We had to walk uphill both ways to find our snark. They need to do the same thing.
I've got a whole bag of snark for you. I can tell you that right now. So let's continue to go down memory lane. We are asking all of you guys too. We want to talk about some of your favorite holiday gifts. 'Cause, 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 'cause Aicila, what do you have in your holiday gift bag memory box? What do you have?
Well, so I have adult children, and I want to preface this because there is something kind of amazing about that, like when they get to a certain place and they want to give you something nice. And both of my kids did this at a different time in their life, where one of them, she had just gotten like a really good job and she was visiting and she took me to Firebird, I think it is, or Freebird, which is a
Freebird.
very
Okay.
fancy boot store. And she got me the most expensive pair of boots I have ever owned. I treasure them. They're still amazing and beautiful. And every time I wear them, like they're the gift that keeps on giving. Because every time I wear them, I just remember going shopping with her and how
Mhm.
excited she was to get me something really nice, and how awkward it was for me to be like, "Is that okay?" Like, because you don't want to like. So then, and then my son, similarly, he actually really, this was extra. I was house sitting for some people, and he snuck in. I don't know how he did this because they had cameras, but somehow the cameras were off. And so I come home from an errand, and there's this anonymous like gift of a Nintendo Switch in my room, and
Real.
I was like, who would give me a Switch? And so I go look at the house cameras, and there's no. I'm like, what, does Santa real? What is happening? And the best part is, I thought it was my daughter who did it, because even though she doesn't live in the state, she's like very, she's crafty. And so I called. It was like, thank you. She's like, I didn't do it. I'm like, oh, go ahead. Try to convince me. I could not be. Finally, she was like, I guess called her brother. It was like, you have to tell mom because I can't take credit for this. She's too happy. I was like, and so finally they convinced me. I was like, oh, that's hilarious. And I still play it. I love that Switch. I've had it for 3 or 4 years now, and I never would have bought that for myself. And it is one of my favorite things.
Mhm.
And the year we live near Red Rocks amphitheater, it's a the concert place outside. It's very famous apparently. And they do a show several years ago, 10 years ago. They started doing shows in February called Red Rocks on Ice because it's very
Mhm.
cold. And one of my kids' favorite performers was going to be there. And because it was new and it was freezing, the tickets were very inexpensive. So I got tickets for the family to go in February so that we could, and they were so excited. And we wrapped up in 80 million layers, and we had it was amazing. There was like 7,000 other insane people there in the cold with us. But that was one of my favorite gifts that I was able to give, because it was so neat to see them so excited. They were in high school, and getting to go to a, real concert of someone they liked, that's just starting to happen. So
Ugh. There are some memorable moments. I believe the best gifts come from the moments. I know, if you look at what society has out there,
yeah.
they will make you think you have to spend like an arm and 5 legs that you don't have to
No.
have this amazing holiday. So again, I say this is one of my favorite gifts that my siblings
Mhm.
purchased for me. I love this thing. I only bring it out during the holidays, right?
Yeah.
Only bring it out, but it is a gift that I love a great deal, and I put my eggnog in it just so I can have the
Mhm.
eggnog if I'm with the family. I remember the day I got it, I washed it out, put my eggnog in, and I started quoting lines from National Lampoon. Uh, we just got into this whole movie scene in the house because it was, it is part of the moment. I also got, now I'm going to date myself, but there was this puppet, and it was a dog,
Ooh.
and you would put your hand in the back of it, and they were called Cuddles. They were
Huh.
called Cuddles, and they came with clothes and things on them, and I loved that dog. First of all, I made a lot of his clothing, okay? Because you know how you can get like a doll and you can buy clothing? And I was like, "No, I'm gonna be
Oh.
resourceful." Gwendolyn started her fashion
Nice.
fashion line for her doll years ago. So I made a good chunk of his clothing, but I love that puppet to the end of time.
That is so cool.
Absolutely loved it. Another one that I have out, not because of this show, just happened to be here, but my very first camera. My very
Oh.
first camera. Okay, so real talk. I had this. I'd mentioned in a video a few weeks ago that if I could get some 110 film and take pictures again with my camera, I would. Well, unbeknownst to me, 110 film is back on the scene.
Oh, nice.
Gwendolyn clearly was not together. It's been back to like 2012. So Gwendolyn goes out and buys rolls of 110 film. So when I got back, it was waiting. I was like, oh, let me get my film. Let me get it together. Go down nostalgic lane. Okay, it doesn't work. my camera doesn't work.
Oh,
It
no.
doesn't want to take a picture. It's okay though. I can get a 110 camera for $30. It's gonna be all right. But this is how I got to where I am today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this little teenage, like preteen gift is what got me where I am today. So I'm like, I love it. And then the other one, before I go to some of our comments here, is my husband in 2021 bought me a mirrorless camera. So here's the backstory. I don't buy equipment unless, one, it is necessary, and two, I have earned it, i.e., I have to make a certain sales goal to say, hey, I'm going to get this. So I thought, let me test drive this camera. So currently on the internet, I am putting in an order to rent this camera for our family holidays to, do a test drive. And he says, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and order the camera, have it arrive for a test drive and see if I really want to invest in it. And he says, cancel that order. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? It's like, you need to cancel it. I was like, I want to test it. I mean, I don't want to wait till like after the holidays. And he's like, you have a camera coming. I said, what? He said, it'll be here tomorrow. I said, stop. Okay, the camera arrives. I kid you not, I cried.
Yeah.
I cried not because of the camera per se, but I cried because here is somebody who believes in my dream more than I believe in my own dream,
Mm-hmm.
But, oh my God, I can't. So it has done great. It's done extremely well with streamlining work. I will tell you that. But it's more the moment and the thought behind the item than the item itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing with like the things my kids got me is that same thing of like the experience of that connection and that joy. Like that's really what matters. And then it shows up in this other way. Like the camera's great, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the boots are great. I love them. But every time I wear them, I think about having that time with my daughter. And that is a gift that I get to have all the time.
Yes. Hey, shout out to Peggy, who is
Peggy,
here.
Responsible.
We had to walk uphill both ways to find our start. Jazzy says, hey, I got a Barbie dream house. That level of excitement I had, man, I think everybody wanted the Barbie dream house. I dreamed about the dream house. Never got it. Never got a good show. I don't know about you guys, but for those of us who remember the Sears and Roebuck Christmas catalog, that you would probably, like the moment it hit the mailbox, you sit down with your siblings trying to share the book and like circle to everything you wanted, or you cut it out and put it on some paper and said, here, mother and father, get us to Santa so he can get us to, never showed up. However, we kept doing it. I mean, it was the thing to do. But that Sears and Roebuck Christmas catalog, man, talk about memories. There were so many beautiful things. There was a light bright. I wanted this rock tumbler to polish rocks because I was going to make rock jewelry.
We needed that. Yeah, because we're going to make our millions polishing rocks and selling jewelry, right?
Polishing rocks and making jewelry and making keychains. There was this microscope kit that I wanted to
the microscope kit. I asked every year for like 7 or 8 years for a one of those Hot Wheels like race car sets. And the adults in my life were like, no, you don't want it. I think possibly because I was a girl. And then when my kids were like 9 and 10 years old, I realized I could buy whatever I want. So I bought one for myself, played with it, and then gave it to them. I was like, this is great.
You sound like my dad. I remember a holiday season where, so my brothers had bunk beds, but they took them down and made them 2 separate beds.
Okay.
My father took one of those beds, put up this big thing of plywood, and put up a model train set with 2 trains. We had the mountains and everything. And we were like, oh my God, the train set. It was really Pop's train set because he hogged it half the damn time. I was like, are we gonna get to play with this? Like, can we get in on the fun? So yeah, but loved it. Love that train set. I mean, there was just
It's
there
so
were a
cool.
like when I think about it now, there were a number of things I circled that never happened. Never got the easy bake oven. I
Mm-mm,
did get
no.
Rainbow Bright though. That did happen. The Rainbow Bright did happen, but I
Okay.
never got the Gem dolls. I really loved Gem. Oh,
And no Barbie Dream
them and the
House. You
holograms.
and Jessica both didn't get the Barbie Dream House.
No, she said I got her Vansir camp thing. I remember that little pink camp thing. That was really cute. They
Mm-hmm.
had some really cute things for Barbie back in the day. You know, and all the clothes. There were so many clothes that, you know, if you, I look and say to myself, how did Toys R Us mess it up? Well, I really shouldn't say Toys R Us because it was the executive level, whatever. But they should still be in business. Toys
Yeah.
were a thing, huge thing. But when you get, you know, when you become an adult, you can now get your own gift. So I know for us, we don't really do the gift thing because like you're grown. However, I have found that, like you mentioned, you have loved ones that will buy things for you that you just wouldn't buy for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes the difference there. Because you're like,
Yeah.
oh man, this Nintendo Switch, what? Like my mother, yes, I'm talking about you, mama. My mama, my mama called us and say, look, she called us, all four of us. Your father, he wants a PlayStation 4 for Christmas. I said, Mama, money does not grow on trees. He has it works just fine. He has a PlayStation. It works just fine. So we didn't get it for the holidays. So then Father's Day comes up. Your dad still wants that PlayStation. I was like seriously? Really? So we did get it. And then he's like,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no Tiger Woods golf. I said, no, they dropped Tiger after all the foolishness. Well, I don't want to play it then. I'm sorry.
Take it
When
home.
he told me, he's like, I don't want to play it. I was like, we just bought this, okay? We gonna play this game.
It's gonna happen.
You know? I was like, are you kidding me? It's like, Pops, they dropped Tiger way back when. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have an endorsement anymore. That golf game is over. So yeah, but she would call us. Your dad wants a PlayStation 4. I was like, that's money, okay? It's money. When the parents become the kids, it's like a whole nother thing that
Mm-hmm.
happens, right? It's like,
I mean, I think I'm gonna like that personally when I get to be the kid, but I mean,
I'm just saying. I was like, ugh.
yeah.
Speaking of train sets here, so quick little fun note here. One of my jobs when I was younger is I worked at this train. It was a toy store slash train exhibit that they did in the mall. And they had this, it was like these two big rooms filled with amazing train setups that traveled through Texas. It was amazing.
That's pretty cool.
Loved it. They had moving planes and helicopters and lights on the buildings, and it was awesome. I was like, so train sets. I don't know. Are people still involved in the train sets and what have you? Because like my dad built a dollhouse for my sister. It took him so long. It became my Christmas gift. Okay, I'm just hey.
Yeah.
he
Mm-hmm.
finally got it done. So but people would do like, you know, they had those hobby stores where you would go and actually, you know, buy the small trees and the little cars and the little, you know, dressers, and you would paint it and do all the little things.
Mm-hmm.
Do people still do that? I mean, I'm kind of
I
out of
think
the
so. I've seen hobby stuff, but you have to be able to go somewhere.
yeah.
You didn't get an easy bake oven either? No dream house, no easy bake oven?
You know,
Eh.
that stuff. Oh, Jessica had an easy bake
Oh,
oven.
Jesse had
Oh,
one.
we have a lot
Okay.
of folks who had easy bake ovens. Okay.
Ron, did you use the easy bake oven that your sister had? That's what I need to know.
Yeah, that's what I. Yeah. Did you use it? Did you use her easy bake oven? Justin said she got a Kate Spade for Christmas this year. Nice. You know, don't do Jessica. Now, my mama, you know how she, you know, mother will call you in a second. Be like, your dad wants my mother at one point, as I go to our next go to our next topic, as Ron says, I rolled her under the Christmas lid. My mother, when she was in her prime, she would snatch up people's phone, what you call it, upgrades. She would
Okay.
snatch them.
Nice.
Mother wanted the latest, greatest cell phone. So she would go into Verizon and they'd be like, hey, so and so has an upgrade available. Great, I'll take it. And
Nice.
just snatch it. Right. And then she came, she took my dad's. She did my dad's upgrade 1 year. He's like, well, that's why I can't get a new phone. She took my phone upgrade. And she was telling people she had gigabytes. I got all these gigabytes. I was like,
Oh
very
dear.
gigabytes. But we love her though. We love mother. We love her. We love her dearly. Oh, he never used the easy
I don't know.
bake oven.
That's like a never. Like that sounds to me like a
never.
I would never either, like it's a for sure thing, or it's like I'm not gonna confess online because she might see this and who knows what's gonna happen.
Oh shoot. Okay. Well, since we're still on memory lane, we want to show you guys. We want to talk about, and again, feel free to share yours. We're going to talk about holiday traditions. All right, so Aicila, I'm gonna let you tell us about some of your traditions. I'm gonna bring up some things. I'm gonna let you have at it, ma'am.
Well, obviously this is a note from Rudolph. We always watched Rudolph when I was little. Like back this for those of you, I think most of you are more our generation, but it used to be that the way you watched a show was it happened to just come on the TV. And so you didn't get to just choose it like you do today with the streaming. And I'm not saying that was better, but it was different. and so there were some things like the Grinch you mentioned and Rudolph that you knew you got to watch. So like you waited for them. I did.
We had to wait. We
Yeah.
had the TV guide. And that was the paper TV guide. The paper.
Yes. Yeah. So that was definitely one that I grew up with, and I still love to watch it. Now I can stream it and watch it whenever I want to, but I don't even know how to use my antenna TV. Obviously food, I like wassail. This is from the last couple of years. My son works at a restaurant, and so he has to work on Christmas and New Year's Eve. So sometimes I'll go in with like a friend, or last year I met one of his friends there, and then he cooks for us. And we have a little I got, when the kids were little, I got one of those little Victorian village things. And so we set that up every year. That's sort of in the background there. And it, and this is the botanic. I've always gone to like the zoo lights, but when I moved to Denver, we started going to botanic gardens, and that's a little, I call it a peppermint tree, but some people call it candy cane tree, but they just deck the whole place out. It's delightful. It's very magical.
You know, I just got, funny enough you say that, I just received an email from our botanic garden saying, hey, get 10% off on the landscape. And they do all the lights and everything. I would love to go. I don't know if I have the heart for holiday traffic at Aicila. I can't do it like I used to.
Yeah, no, well, I went, ours opens up early. So we went like the Sunday after Thanksgiving. You go earlier. Like, I think this might be a little bit more hectic of a time, but it's still like, it really is magical. They spend a lot of time adorning it, and yeah, that's something I've been doing. That's actually fun. They play music and then the lights dance according to all these different songs. And you can just stand there for like 10 or 15 minutes and hear all these songs and watch the lights dance. And you can get hot chocolate and cider, or you can get boozy hot chocolate, boozy cider.
You know, we love boozy hot chocolate. Come on now. Come on.
I mean, yeah, so that's the Blossoms of Light. That's what they call it. It's really sweet. One of the traditions that we have as a family that's kind of unique to our family is whenever we're together, and like we aren't always in the same place. Oh, and I like to put things like Babylon 5 figurines on my tree. So like every year I put something silly on it. So just my traditional tree there.
We'll come back to that one.
But we do, since the kids were little, we've played D&D as a family, Dungeons and Dragons. And so oftentimes when we're all together, someone will write a little, they call it a one shot. It's a single story. And then we'll play together as a family. So sometimes we'll remember the holiday and we'll remember that time that we overcame the monster. So yeah, little sneaky snacks. And then my dog in her little Christmas sweater. This year, I got a matching Christmas sweater for her and I, because that's the kind of dog mom I have become.
She said, that's the dog mother I am.
And then this is the little, the little Christmas village. My son will put it in and he'll speak for the characters as we're putting it up. It's kind of hilarious. I like. So, and then we'll play lots of games. This is a game called Dread Pirate, but I couldn't put pictures of all of them. So we like to play games and laugh and drink eggnog. It's our thing.
Now, is this happening on New Year's, on Christmas Eve, or this is Christmas Day?
Often Christmas Day is when we do the celebrations and in that, like the games and the D&D and the stuff like that, because it's a day that everybody can pull out. For years, I did Christmas Eve fondue, and I just have a drop in. When I was 16, I was an exchange student in Germany, and my host family did fondue for Christmas, and I thought that was so cool. So every year for Christmas Eve, for years, I would do Christmas Eve fondue. And when I lived in the same place for 13 years, it became just a tradition. People would just stop by. Sometimes I'd have 30 or 40 people there, and we put out, the meat fondue and the cheese fondue and the chocolate fondue. And it was just, and watching kids, like, they get chocolate everywhere. It's adorable. There's a lot of things that's just fun to do with little tiny humans. So we put kids out when we did that. So, but I, like you, it's, to me, I actually don't even care if I celebrate I was divorced. And so, like, at some years it'd be better to have the kids be up at their dads, and sometimes I'd go up to their dads, like we'd all celebrate together. But I would celebrate on solstice because I like the earth-centered holidays. To me, it's about like being connected to people. It doesn't really matter the day. It's just convenient on Christmas because most things are closed.
Yes, I agree with that. I know for us, so we don't. I want to say I mentioned this some time ago. Thanksgiving is our holiday, so like we get together on Thanksgiving. Christmas, we might come together, we may not. But looking at in the past, we've done things. So the one thing that we have done, and I like how I specifically pick out some of the most ridiculous photos, but we would do this holiday photo. I do enjoy how my brother thought he was the cutest thing known to man and put himself out there wearing his new Christmas gear. This is like, really? Seriously, we have a collection of Christmas photos that are just, they say a great deal. They do say a great deal. What's also pretty cool too, though, is as we have gotten older and the grandkids have come along, the great grandkids have come along, we have added them into it. So for that one reason alone, we did attempt to come together on Christmas so we can get like our holiday photo kind of thing. But Thanksgiving is now taking that place. So, it kind of goes in between. But this is, I think it was like 2006. Or nice. somewhere about there. And then we have this one as well. It's like 2016. I like how my husband is calling me. Now, I know I told Mr. Jack. I know I told him that I was going live today. I know I said this. I know I said it. But I like how he's calling me anyway. It's like, okay, now, yeah. we will work. We're going to work this out. So we do like taking like our family photos and stuff. When my parents went through this phase, I know you guys are thinking my mother's a retired minister, so surely she's not that person. My mama and daddy were running parties, okay? Running parties that the cops were getting called. That's what kind of parties they were doing. Now, they didn't have the biggest home, but where this tree is, that tree would come out and there would be a DJ there with a smoke machine.
Nice.
Okay?
Nice.
But my mother, when she was in her prime of decorating, this is like circa 2001, if not 2000, she was getting her decorations from Neiman Marcus. That's how mama was doing. That's what she was doing. And she would do what they did in the retail stores. So when they would do these holiday parties, the real gifts were in the back of the house, like in their room. And then there were all these empty boxes that were wrapped. Because it was about the ambiance of having, right? So she was like, I don't need anybody stealing my stuff. So I'm going to put these empty boxes out here and then we'll bring out the real gifts later. But mother would decorate the entire house. We had parties for days. Jessica would tell you, cops getting called. There was no kind of parties.
Nice.
And you would walk outside, there were cars all up and down the street. I was like, okay. So yeah, it was good times. It was good times in the early 2000s. So I do have some fond memories there. One of my best memories though is the gift wrap. I would bring my paper from the Container Store. And I was also one of the stylists, one of the wrapping stylists at the Container Store. So we had some really cute paper, and I made amazing bows. So I always took pictures of my wrap because it was like amazing wrap. Like, hello. And lastly, there was never a holiday that didn't have mixed nuts with fruit and tangerines and some hard ribbon candy. Now, I will say this: as the dental work shows up, you take out the hard candy, right? The cinnamon, the ribbon candy, the little like all that. Yeah, we start going towards gummy candy or just chocolate. Because if I knew then what I know now, I probably wouldn't have had all of that hard candy. Because yeah, and I think they still sell it, right? They still
But
sell it.
ribbon candy
Candy,
is so good.
you
I know it's
between
bad for
stockings.
you, but
Yeah.
man, is it good.
I mean, it was just, and we would take like this big candy cane stick and like munch on it with like pecans, just like
Mhm.
right out of our stockings that were hung. So,
Yep.
this dental work, no ma'am.
I mean, at least you had some joy for it, right? Like
We had some joy, but I would not do it now by any means. I wouldn't do it now. So I will say this because I know like I like how Jessica is telling me to let Mr. Jack make it. I tell my husband all the time, I'm going live today. And he's on the approved of you can still disturb on when I'm on do not disturb, but his calls still come in. And he's
Mhm.
like, I didn't get that text message. You didn't read it, but I know you got it. It's okay. I will call him back in a little bit. But let's say this. Okay, Aicila, do you have any parting messages for our viewers who are watching now or in the replay?
Yeah, actually, so I've been thinking about this, and when I think about it, the holidays that are the best are the ones where I feel like I can be genuine. And I
Mhm,
think a lot of times people put pressure on themselves. They have to do this or they have to do that. And it often even comes from a really good place. Like they remember how fun the parties were that they used to have and they want to do it. And like when I love doing Christmas Eve fondue, but I haven't done it for the last few years because I realized it was just a little too much for me where I'm at.
mhm, mhm,
And I'll know I'll do it again because I loved hosting that, but I feel so happy, like, just being able to connect to people or, like I said, go to the restaurant and see my kid and he cooks for me, like, or whatever, and so I think that just, the holidays are what you make of them, and
mhm,
it's okay to do it differently. It's okay to say, I'm not feeling that. I need to get some rest, and to really, like, the people that love you, they're not gonna take it personally,
mhm.
and and sometimes if you're honest and you say like, gosh, I don't have the energy for that, people be like, oh, I don't either. Maybe we could just do like a jammies and watch bad movies hangout or something. So you give other people a chance too to like really feel into what they feel because we need to rest and connect. We don't need to make a fuss and we don't have to push ourselves to try and do something just because we think we ought to. Like that's, if anything, it's for work. I don't even know if I think it's for work, but it's definitely not for your free time with your friends and your family and your holiday. So that's my parting words. Be good to
I agree
yourself.
with that. I'm going to say ditto on everything you just said. Because a lot of times if I think about like my family they've done some amazing things. I have some really great memories with my grandmothers, my aunties, just
Mm,
across the board. And as I get older, and I know we're spread apart, we get to now pick and choose when we're going to do the all of us together, i.e., Thanksgiving, right?
mhm.
What do you want to call it? But that I like how some there. That unspoken need to go all out and be everywhere for everybody is like we don't have that. So we're fairly muted over here. We might go to my mother's house, but I literally just came back from Houston
Mhm.
on Saturday. We
Yeah.
just got off the we just got off the road. I like how right when we're about to end, this darn machine wants to update stuff. If it's not my husband calling, it's the machine want to do other things during my life. We got to have a conversation for 2025. I tell you, clearly, I gotta talk to the people. because people are not paying attention to what this Virgo is doing. But yes, I'm going to say this: always take care of you. Check your meter. If the meter says I'm on E or just about E, let it ride, right? Just
Yep.
let it ride. Take care of you. It's fine to stay at home, as you say, with yourself or with a friend. Stay in your pajamas, watch some TV, drink a little eggnog, just But I say take care of you and think about spend time with your family. As I'm going to end with Jessica's message here. Christmas is a time to
Beautiful.
bond with family. Let's stop adding pressure of having to buy gifts for everyone. Amen to that.
Yep.
Amen, sister. And I like how Jazz is giving me all these smiley faces. So as we wrap this up, I'm going to thank everybody for tuning in today. Thank you all for giving us your time and sharing your memories with us. Just going down memory lane, your holiday traditions and things. I'm going to continue drinking my eggnog. I should probably eat something because this fireball is going. Oh, my mama's still here. Oh, hey, mama. Mother ran some good parties, y'all. Don't let it fool you. Mother and Pops was doing the do. They were like, how old are your parents? Old enough to get called on. You know what I'm saying? We had the best time at those parties. And some of them, if I must say so, some of those parties are on YouTube. I'm gonna find them and link them to you. So you guys can see what they see what they were doing.
Love that.
But for everybody, because we're not gonna see you guys until next year, I'm gonna go ahead and say happy holidays and have a safe New Year. Please do like, share, and subscribe to myself and also Aicila's channel because we have some great topics. Buzz like, yeah. We have some great topics coming for you in 2025. Yeah. Until then, let us not go there. We're going to enjoy the presents, right? We're going to be here in the present with our loved ones. We are going to resist by being joyful.
Yes. And connected and take care of each other. And shout out to thanks, Peggy, for introducing us and hopping in. Happy holidays to everybody.
Yes. All right. Now that we have done that, because I keep sending more messages, we will never get out of here. Okay. See you guys.